So here to start the session is a visionary leader of women who works in one of the most desperate areas in the world when it comes to safety for women, the Democratic Republic of the Congo. But even with the bleak outlook, there is a growing glimmer of hope, if I may say so. She is the founder of the City of Joy, an oasis in what can be called the rape capital of the world. And the City of Joy provides shelter and life-changing transformation to survivors of violence in a country that is torn by war. Before I call her name, she has a clip that she would like to share with us. So let's look at the video first.
It's a constant reminder that the war is not over. But the most amazing thing about this role is where it leads us every day.
Mimi sikuwa najua vita. Sasa tulianjaka sikia viola, tulikuwa najua viola ndio nini.
The powerful countries of the world are funding militias. The militias use rape as a weapon of war.
Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of women raped and tortured.
All the survivors, what do you think they do? They leave. So we ask all these women what they need.
Kwenye hakuna bastonda, kwenye hakuna make kukwe na amani.
That's how City of Joy started.
Sasa nilikuwa msite de la joie, mais sikuwa kana furaha.
The magnitude of the stories were beyond anything I'd ever heard in my life.
Sasa nilikuwa msite de la joie, enye kumuli. Iko na hadisi yake.
La vision de la cité de la joie est de révolutionner la mentalité des femmes.
Each one of you is going to take center stage with your voice, with yourself.
Ça, tout a transformé, il m'a désolé, l'autre, il n'est pas dans le pouvoir, dans deux mots.
Nilishajisikia na mimi kumbe niko mtu.
Nilikuwa na boga sana, tangia leo, boga inaisha.
I told my story, you can tell your story. There's a life after all we survived.
This gives me goosebumps. We are honored that she is here to share her story. Please welcome Christine Schuler Deschryver.
Good afternoon, everybody. First, an introduction. I'm the co-founder of City of Joy with Ensler and Dr. Denise Mukwege. And I'm also the director of City of Joy. It is such an honor for me to be here with all of you to share about our experience with women's shelter. I come from the richest country of the world, situated in the richest continent. My country is called the Democratic Republic of Congo. Our population is one of the poorest, facing multiple, terrible economic wars since 1996. On the surface of our country, we are really blessed to have an abundance of flora and fauna. We are also blessed to be the second land of humanity with the surface of a rainforest after the Amazonia. On a deeper level, we have treasures that the world needs. Desire: gold, diamonds, cobalt for electric cars, uranium, copper, huge petroleum reserves, platinum, iron, commonly known as Old Town, using your mobile phones, computers, etc. As you can imagine, the West desperately needs your resources, and you have to understand that aid doesn't come from Western countries to Africa, but come from Africa to the Western world. They totally depend on us. The Western world assures that the free aid keeps coming by systematically destabilizing the wealthiest African nations like the Democratic Republic of Congo, supported by huge campaigns that give the world the impression that Africa is poor and dying, surviving on the mercy of the West. All the big institutions and NGOs that continue to run huge advertising campaigns for charity sustain that image of Africa globally. Already much more than 8 million deaths have taken place in Congo due to the ongoing conflict, but nobody wants to call it a genocide. Women's and children's bodies have been battlegrounds for decades, where all kinds of atrocities are permitted, but the world remains deaf and blind, protecting their economic interests and using militias and former genocidaires from Rwanda to plunder our country. With my husband and our 2 children, we refused to abandon the Congolese when the first war started in 1996, but never could have imagined the level of atrocities and brutalities I would witness. I wasn't prepared, but who can be? I don't remember how many women and children I had to bury because they were thrown at the hospital steps, totally alone, being punished again for being raped. I became their sister, their mother, their daughter, cried all my tears for years until I became sick and suddenly stopped eating. Feeling guilty to live in my comfort while so many others suffered. I stopped sleeping and almost died. At that time, I was introduced to one of the most extraordinary women I will ever know, Ensler, and thank you for being here. The writer of the Vagina Monologues and the founder of V-Day and 1 Billion Rising, the global activist movement to end violence against all women and girls. Eve literally changed my life and saved me. And she also saved the lives of thousands and thousands of Congolese, not to mention the lives of women all over the world. After being invited to Congo by Dr. Denise Mukwege, Eve came to Congo taking the time, because usually when people come, they take like 1 day to try to understand what's going on. But she took the time to ask victims and survivors what they wanted, and they came up with the idea of City of Joy, a safe place where they could live in community, heal and empower themselves through life skills training and counseling while staying for 6 months at a time in groups of 90 young women. A place where they could be independent from their families and any responsibilities, free to take care of themselves and take their own destinies in their hands. Experiences from many shelters of survivors show that most survivors are able to exit their status if they receive a combination of permanent housing services and social support, based on evidence from City of Joy as a shelter for survivors of gender-based violence in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. It is clear that shelters for survivors should aim to lead them, the survivors, from their problems, losses, isolation, etc., to power. Our philosophy at City of Joy is to put the beneficiaries at the center of all the services provided. Together, survivors, shelter managers, and social workers work jointly to create an environment, a place where survivors restore their dignity and come back to their true selves. Evidence from City of Joy in DRC, a revolutionary new model. Generally, In Africa, and particularly in DRC, one-stop centers for survivors provide multi-sectorial case management, including health, welfare, counseling, and legal services in one location. The recurrent conflicts that have characterized the DRC have given rise to many survivors. These people have lost direction, and services which were provided to rescue them have failed to meet their real needs in many regions. Many of these services have been less than a half solution to their problems, as the authentic shelters of survivors of gender-based violence were almost non-existent. The creation of shelters, also known as safe houses, have put programmers in the position of taking the comprehensive problems of survivors to the forefront. This has been an urgent response, creating new methods of shelter management, holistic care through the establishment of one-stop centers. This method is also called the complete or total patient clinic care approach. In the context of City of Joy, we use this survivor-centered approach. We believe that shelter management must center on its residents. In all the actions made and in all the events planned, starting from the inception of each project to its budgeting, implementation, and evaluation, survivors or beneficiaries must be primary target with a view to make them feel full-fledged members of the community that welcomes them in order to develop, heal, and reconstruct their life in a new perspective. This approach should take into account many dimensions: cultural, political, security, environmental, gender sensitive, moral, etc., so that survivors' healing process be tailor-made to meet their specific needs to grow, change, heal, feel free, write their destinies on their own terms, and be able to open themselves in a safe environment, and fix their surroundings when they return there as new persons. This approach to shelter management and social work also must provide protection and security to the residents. This allows survivors to see that life can and will change in a new environment, and with people who take their situation to heart. An example at City of Joy is that 90 women from varied locations come each with their problems. They are shelters in a center where they have to heal from their past trauma. They are provided with care, they are secured, nurtured, and they receive a four-dimensional support: medical, legal, for those whose cases are not yet solved, psychological, and in the end, socio-economic reintegration when they go back to their communities as leaders. In addition to capacity building and livelihood training they receive in their training package. Safety for survivors of violence is an important factor that favors the needed change of their life. V-Day, the mother organization of City of Joy, is a global community of activists with a shared vision of a world where women can thrive rather than merely survive. As shelter managers and social workers, we can join our efforts as a global community and create spaces that are connected and free from the fear and isolation that many victims face, so they have resources and hope to build a better future. While the City of Joy is a physical place, it is also a metaphor for turning pain into power. City of Joy aims to provide women with the opportunity to heal and redirect themselves in a community on their own terms. Its philosophy is grounded in the belief that each woman is unique, valuable to her society, and has a right to be treated with dignity, respect, love, and compassion. Women are survivors who have been through unjust gender traumas. Each woman is capable of activating her own ability to recover, heal, and be an empowered and transformational leader. Rebirth is always possible. Like all communities, the City of Joy has its own culture. One is grounded in love and respect for each other and the unique experience each woman brings to the table. The 10 guiding principles of the City of Joy are: tell the truth, stop waiting to be rescued, take initiatives, know your rights, raise your voice, share what you've learned, give what you want the most, feel and tell the truth about what you've been through, use it to fuel a revolution, practice kindness, treat your sister's life as it were your own. At City of Joy, we consider the following aspects: admission criteria for survivors, playing the role of the wind behind the backs, breaking the glass ceiling, healing from pain to power to planting, building on others' experience. A glimpse into the admission criteria of survivors. The selection of each resident should be based on some criteria. These criteria define the profile of the residents, which will help attain the objective of the shelter mission. If, for example, the objective of the shelter management is to have candidates who pass through transformation and become leaders, from the admission to the reintegration of these candidates, managers and social workers should see the traits, conditions, and criteria which will make the candidates leaders. In the model of City of Joy, we do not recruit all survivors of gender-based violence. We recruit those who meet our admission criteria because we believe that the transformation from pain to power is possible with those criteria. To cite some, every woman who comes to City of Joy must be a survivor of gender violence, age 18 to 30, have a medical form, be willing to go back to her community to lead, comply with the rules and regulations of City of Joy as a community, be traumatized, etc. These criteria will be the determining factors of all the residents who live in one shelter. These criteria will help social workers determine appropriate treatment to achieve goals within a specified period. Playing the role of the wind behind the backs. Nowadays, survivors of gender-based violence, like any homeless person, come from a personal setting with individual background. The genesis of the creation of the City of Joy has shown how benefactors, donors, and managers should not impose the model follow. They must play the role of the wind behind the backs. This means that these persons must listen to the voices of the survivors. They must hear them, take into account all their concerns, and be behind the initiative they take to change their lives. City of Joy played this role by accompanying women to have their far-fetched dreams come true. In prelude to the beginning of the program, women themselves crafted how City of Joy should look like. They said what they wanted to learn and how they could learn it, allowing survivors of gender-based violence to be the primary and main actresses of the change and the difference they want to see means giving them the entire responsibility for their healing. Breaking the glass ceiling. In every corner of the world, women and girls survivors of gender-based violence need a roof, a place to shelter from violence, poverty, corruption, etc. The new methods of shelter management and social work will allow women survivors of gender-based violence to know what glass ceiling is and means to them, with a view to equip them with skills and knowledge to break it and fly beyond its limits. The new methods should allow survivors to break the existing taboos by providing them with training in reproductive health, gender rights, civic and political education, pacific coexistence, nutrition, etc., and link their human experience with the love and protection they owe to Mother Nature, by planting trees, making compost, crossing and feeding rabbits, pigs, fish, etc., and improving their farm productivity in order to boost their economic independence. In one term, breaking the glass wholesaling means allowing the woman to shift from pain to power to planting and move with the world, which is changing at an unprecedented pace, and lift other women in their communities. Healing from pain to power to planting, shelter management and social work should not only target survivors, but also connect their healing or transformation process with the power they get and with the environment they live in. The effects of the physical environment, Mother Nature, on the healing process and well-being have proved to be increasingly relevant for survivors and their family, as well as for social workers. In the methods we use at City of Joy, we provide survivors with knowledge to admire, love, and protect the nature and its element. And Mother Nature was so generous in the Democratic Republic of Congo. We provide them with knowledge to heal and heal the environment. We teach them to value their relationship with the nature by protecting it through the practice of ecological techniques. This is the reason why City of Joy therapists use much methods as contemplation and meditation in the nature. Our farm, Vivold Farm, is a place where the communion and reconciliation between humans and nature are possible. In the farm, survivors reinforce their healing process when they learn to plant trees, make local fertilizer, roast rabbits, feed pigs, goats, and fish with bio and fresh grass from the farm, where everything is part of a cycle of transformation. The farm allows women survivors to release their trauma when they think about marvelous farm products, when they listen to the songs of birds, and when they see how we jointly work to feed humans with money. Building on others' experience. We acknowledge that shelter management must get inspiration from the base. For example, from the situation, environment, culture, and policy of the country, region, community where it is set. The initiative must not be a copy from another environment, but experience can also be learned from other shelter managers and social workers who succeeded in their context. Social work. In our City of Joy method of shelter management and social work, all social work must provide holistic care to its patient survivors. The social work provided is built on 4 pillars: medical, psychological, legal, and socio-economic. All these pillars provide comprehensive services to the residents of shelters. For these reasons, the services that are offered require coordination and integration of care that will promote improved health outcomes, improved survivor satisfaction, and good socio-economic reintegration, so that every beneficiary finds herself on a path of healing, love, self-esteem, and leadership. This approach in social work seeks to make sure all coordinated efforts that are made to empower survivors are all defined and capitalized in health, psychosocial, socio-economic, and legal assistance in one location through the methods used at City of Joy. Through the survivors can be referred elsewhere for legal assistance. In the methods used in City of Joy, management and social work, there are 2 sorts of counseling provided to the residents, individual and group counseling, in addition to other therapeutic methods we provide. Individual counseling is a one-on-one talk which gives an opportunity to each resident of City of Joy to receive support and experience growth during challenging time in life. It is that opportunity which helps the social worker to deal with many personal topics in the life of each resident of a shelter. These topics can be anger, depression, anxiety, substance abuse, marriage and relationships challenges, parenting problems, school difficulties, rape, etc. This method allows therapists, social worker, to give a specific attention to the survivor that isn't possible in a group setting. In other terms, his approach is tailored to the specific needs of the individual. Her current needs dictate the treatment plan. Through this would change over the course of therapy. Group therapy and counseling is used at City of Joy so that survivors can listen to their sisters' stories and feel compassionate with them. It is a sort of therapy that reinforces sisterhood and creates an atmosphere of mutual support in group therapy where other members of the group often help one another come up with specific ideas for improving a difficult situation or life challenge. Regularly, talking and listening to others also help each survivor put their own problem in perspective. Many people experience mental health difficulties, but few speak openly about them to people they don't know well. Oftentimes, you may feel like you are the only one struggling, but you're not. It can be a relief to hear others discuss what they are going through and realize you're not alone. These principles are in case in City of Joy's Revolutionary Vagina Warrior program that aims to provide a safe and empowering community for survivors of gender violence who have demonstrated leadership qualities. The focus is on giving women space and time to heal themselves from trauma, build self-esteem and skills, and gain valuable leadership training. The range of activities women experience over the course of their stay is breathtaking, from leadership training, from rights awareness, judiciary, community activism, media, communication, specialized psychosocial care, massage, self-defense, and comprehensive sexuality education. The center prepares women to not only integrate back into their community with confidence, but to lead. Women graduate having corporate literacy and are exposed to everything from physical education, culinary arts, theater and dance, craft making, and on-site farming and agricultural training at Vigo's Farm, the center's sister program. At the Tech Center, women learn basic computer literacy, helping to better prepare them for the current global workplace. City of Joy is modeling a new kind of center that moves from social service to social justice. It is a place that is literally turning into power. Our experience is unique because women never had such an intensive 6-month program in one safe place to rebuild themselves in community and be led by principles. We are at the 16th and 16th session. At the end of this year, we will already have 1,383 graduated. We keep closely in touch with them, and the next step will be a meeting with all of them to talk now about strategies to change our country. City of Joy. Really planted seeds of revolution. These seeds are now rapidly growing. Graduates at City of Joy are fierce, capable women committed to their communities and the future of Congo. Women are ready for revolution, and I hope you are all ready for revolution.